Today we have a good friend, Peter Fehr. He's a rice farmer, and you're gonna hear what it takes to be a rice farmer in the country of Belize. The difficulties, the joy, and the loss, but the perseverance that it takes here in our country of Belize. How does you as a farmer, you start your day at your farm as a rice farmer?
At first it starts off, you're getting up. Personally, first thing that I like to do is commit my day to the Lord. I have learned lots about farming, but I have also learned very clearly if it isn't for God's blessing, my smarts won't do it, my works alone won't do it. But I do everything I can, ask the Lord for His blessing, right? But it's getting up and committing that to the Lord and asking Him, so what is it that you have for me today, right? And you're getting your day ready with family, breakfast, devotion, off you go. Sometimes you get up so earlier that your family's still sleeping, right? Take your lunch, be out there all day long, and I have workers that work for me, right? Get them work for each one, checking up and see how the crop is doing. Sometimes you have no idea what you're gonna encounter, right? Every day is a new day, yeah. And but when you see things are going well, it's a joy to see, right? And it's a combination of your work and God's creation and His blessing, right? So it's not just you. Again and again, I have learned it very clear. That's one of the greatest lessons I had to learn on my farm, is that it wasn't just all about me doing it right. We want to do what I can, but I seen where God blesses it. If it hadn't been for that, I would not have lasted farming. If one year you have done things in one way, one crop, and you see, this I will do it different next time. You learn all the time. If you stop learning, you will lose your farm. Yeah. So you learn and you improve all the time. I always do some trials this way and some trials the other way, and then I learn how it works and improve. And so, yeah, and you have some tough days when you get some challenges where new type of bugs, insects that you haven't encountered before, and you got to figure out, okay, so how are we gonna deal with this, right? And the next time you have some fungus popping up or some deficiencies on the plant, and you got to learn what it is and try to solve the problem. And it keeps on going every day. You have to maintain your nutritions and your water all the time, and then on the side you have new things that you encounter. For me, the farm has been one of the greatest places to exercise my faith and trust. There have been many times I wanted to quit farming. Just, the risk is too high, it's too much. We had losses and stuff like that. But for me, it's again just learning to know God and trust Him and do what He wants you to do. For me, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be a farmer now. And I felt that God just says, no, keep on going. I will walk with you. He is always there with you, and that's the learning to trust Him in all of that. I think is just a great opportunity to do that for Him, and you provide food for people, right? But when you see the harvest, when you see the results, and you see people get fed by it, it's like, yes, let's do it again. Let's hope.
And it's very true that through the pandemic, Belize didn't have to go begging for food. Sugar, beans, rice. Yeah. We haven't went in shortage here in the country of Belize, but many of our Caribbean countries have to depend from the United States or from other countries for them to feed their people. And that's why it's so important for us to appreciate farmers like Peter and all the rest that we are jumping from one combine to another, because in reality here in Belize we are tremendously fortunate that we have people that are committed to their farms, and a lot of them are committed to the Lord as well. So if we help one another, we will get very far in our country, that the next generation of our kids will have plenty of food in the country of Belize. I wish every kid in Belize could have that experience. But when the farmer says it's time to harvest, harvesting, how do you prepare yourself when time for harvest?
So this, for me personally, I've been in there for it's now about 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah. I harvest from planting to harvest. The one I do is 100 to 105 days. Yeah. There's a number of challenges, huge challenges. There is, for one thing, is to develop a farm. It's very high cost, and a lot of farmers still have that for years and years to pay just the development, right? And getting that all. So they're getting into debt for that, even though they make some money off of every crop, but they still, it's not just paying the cost of the crop, they're paying the development part, right? So that's one huge thing there. Then it's a high risk seed, fertilizer, money into the ground every year. Every time you plant, right? So weather plays a big role. You can do everything right, but if the weather is not favor, then you have low production, low yield, or even lost yields. And then also the market. Sometimes even you have a good crop, you have a hard time selling it. You have to store it for. There was some time we had rice stored for 2 years, a little over 2 years actually. What happens is when there's market, then more and more farmers start planting, and then it fills up, and then you get stuck with it, and then so you get a roller coaster market.
Wow.
And if you can't persevere through that, that's where some make it through. Yeah.
You cannot wait 2 years. Can you imagine waiting for 2 years to sell your crops?
For preparing for harvest, we always take time, way ahead of time, for the machines, and especially the combine. To everything we see, we maintain it. Like we fix it wherever. If we find something that we think might possibly go wrong, we will replace that, right? And when that time comes, because you only have a certain amount of time to take it off. Often, some of the parts that I know that can break, I have a lot of that. I have extra actually in stock myself. I have it right there at the farm. Yeah, for example, my big belt ripped, and I had it at the farm. It took me an hour and a half, and it was going again, right? But the other thing that happens there, which is very beautiful, often what we do as farmers too, is if we don't have the part and if we can't get it quick, we will borrow it from another combine or friend's combine, neighbor's combine, and put it on there so we can go. Yeah. And sometimes we have to make parts. We have to make things too. So yeah. So if the machines break too much, you lose all of that, what you've put in all these crop, right? So that's why it's intense, and you line it up and you want it to go and get it off as quick as possible. You worked hard, you put all of that in there, and when take that in, you get the satisfaction of reaping what you've sown, right? That's where you feel a fulfillment there, right? I'm always reminded during harvest, I feel that God always reminds me the way you feel about this harvest. Yeah, that's how God feels about us, about Soul's harvest. Much bigger yet, right?
High five!
Same time, I appreciate the opportunity, and I also feel the support of Belizean people. I know there was a time where we struggled with market, and there was rice going to be imported. It was a real big issue for us as farmers, because it could be to the point where you would have to stop farming, right? And that's where I heard speaking up and saying, I want to support the local farmer, and I really appreciate that. And I say thank you all for supporting us, whoever does. We love providing for you, and we really appreciate your support. Yeah.
Keep it unbelievable. You hear it from the farmer.
Hey kids, my name is Chase. I'm the Unbelizeable Perez's. And you check out our videos. And also, go outside and don't watch on your tablet. Or don't go on your phone or on your TV. Because go outside and do an adventure. Like farming. Every day people farming like this. Or farming something like that. And remember, don't be scared, be smart.
This guy is so good.